Ovas! Okay, let's cook some snails, one of my favourite dishes. So we call the big ones in Cyprus Monohoros and we call the small ones Karolos. What breed they are I'm not too sure, but we just call them large snails and small snails, shall we? Okay, before we start cooking them, we are going to take off that paper film which the snails create when they go into a kind of hibernation. We don't want that paper film in the saucepan whilst we're boiling them up. So me and my mum, we're going to spend 5 minutes or so just taking off that paper film. Okay, once you've done all that, just top them up with water, add salt and vinegar, quite a bit of salt really. You'll be surprised, you probably need a bit more salt than what you expect when you cook snails. But salt and vinegar, and then just boil them up on a rolling boil. And these have been cooking for about 10 minutes, so about 10 minutes. No need to take off that foam because we're going to rinse them off in a second. But the first cook only takes about 10 minutes. Okay, so about 10 minutes later, we're rinsing them off. And we're going to start taking out the small part of the shell. So if you can see what my mum's doing there, where the snail curls tightly, we're just removing that with a sharp knife. So what that's going to allow us to do is, when they are cooked towards the end, that's going to allow us to suck the snail through the shell. It might sound disgusting to those folks that don't eat snails, but for those that do eat snails, we don't mind doing this kind of thing. So we're just taking off that bit of shell. You need a sharp knife, so watch your fingers and rinse them off. Okay, it takes a few minutes, so brown an onion in olive oil of course, and put in your snails. There's about ½ kilo of snails there, by the way. And then we'll top them up with some water. And we're going to add some salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper will go in now. And we've sort of created a onion snail soup with this at this stage. And once we put the pepper in, stir them up a little bit, and then we'll be adding the rice. And we're adding about ½ cup of rice. So ½ kilo of snails, ½ cup of rice, about 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper. And we're just going to cook that rice through. So however long it takes the rice to cook, which is normally about 10 minutes, isn't it? And once the rice is cooked, the dish is done basically. So you can see the rice absorbing that nice snaily soupy onion stuff. And at this stage, 10 minutes later, it's about ready. There you go. So most of the water's gone. There's just a little bit at the bottom of the pan, which is fine. And that is perfect. And we're going to do the taste test. Here we go. One of the smaller snails, scooping up a bit of juice with a bit of rice, and we're going to just suck that through. There. You know they're cooked properly when they suck through okay. And there's one of the bigger ones. Just pop it out. Lovely. Happy eating, folks.